I was talking to a friend of mine, and in this very enriching discussion, I came to the conclusion that I really enjoy artists more than the artwork itself. I enjoy the person behind the show, the movie, the song, the game way more than the specific piece of media. I really enjoy how much of someone you can find out by reading a story they wrote, by watching a movie from them. Example that always comes to mind is David Lynch. I am not the hugest Lynch fan. I did not understand Mulholland Drive. I tried watching Inland Empire and I did not fuck with it. I like Twin Peaks, but I don't understand most of it. There are a few moments in Twin Peaks season 3 that are so fucking good. I need to make a video about my favorite Twin Peaks moments eventually. Either way, my point is what I like the most about David Lynch's art is David Lynch himself. Of course, from the little we can know and infer about him, from his piece of work and interviews, the documentaries, and whatnot. There was this masterclass that David Lynch posted online. He mentions that when he was once a child, he was playing on the street. I think he was with his brother or his mother, someone else was alongside him. He was not alone, and came in this very naked, filled with blood woman asking for help. He mentioned he wanted to help her, but he lacks the maturity to do so. And now we go to Twin Peaks. In Twin Peaks, it's about Laura Palmer, and she was killed. We don't know who killed her. There's this whole thing about who killed Laura Palmer, and there's a lot of weirdness, the Lynchian weirdness, which is Dale Cooper's talks about spies, Gordon Cole's character being just a silly guy mostly, Albert, I think his name was Albert, yeah, the asshole FBI cop that actually is a very loving person. The whole Twin Peaks TV show is filled with Lynchian weirdness. And now when you connect those two dots of the once younger version of Lynch that wanted to save the girl, and you watch Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is about saving Laura Palmer. It's Lynch's attempt to save that woman. Perhaps this is not necessarily the point. I can't possibly know, and maybe not even Lynch himself could have known exactly what was going on in his head when he and Mark Frost made Twin Peaks. But my point is, you'll see a lot of kindness, a lot of love in Twin Peaks. And when Lynch tells this story, that he was this whole thing that I just told you, you connect the dots and it sort of makes sense. There's always something horrible happening in his movies. It's always weird, terrifying, but at the same time, it's somewhat beautiful. Because, isn't it beautiful? The desire to do good, the desire to save, to help, the desire to bring more goodness to the world. I think this is Lynch's core uh, trait, at least the core trait that appeals to me the most. I don't know. I can't possibly infer that I know David Lynch on this personal level, but this is what I'm talking about. Isn't it interesting that we can make these assumptions based on, well, what little we know about his life and his style? Okay, it's all very interesting. I love knowing more about the creator. There is this one movie that I really like called Love Strings. And Love Strings is about this guy. He's sort of an asshole, and he has this sister. His sister, which only we only find out she's actually his sister later in the movie, but she's divorcing her husband, and her husband just quite literally doesn't love her anymore. And in this movie has a very sad thing going on, it's a very depressing movie, and there's some beauty into it. There always is some beauty. There is always some beauty in whatever we watch. But the whole point of the movie is that love does not stop. Love is constant. Even when we believe there is no love, in this case it was the character of her brother, we find out that the director John Cassavetes He was thinking he was gonna be dead 6 months after finishing this movie. He did not die 6 months later. He died 5 years later, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. You can, because then you watch the other movies he made. The Opening Night, for instance, Love Strings, Woman Under the Influence, and it's all very beautiful. From knowing the fact that his last movie was about love, was a positive message, we can infer a lot about his personality. We can find out more about whatever it is that we are consuming. It's so interesting. I love it. The whole creative process is also very interesting. David Lynch, for instance, he would always say,
And if you forget a good idea, you want to commit suicide. So you have to write them down.
do you agree with this? Do you not agree with this? It's very personal. And then there is another artist that I recently found out about, which is Emily Nothomb. She's a French writer, and she says in one interview that if she writes down an idea, the idea dies there. These are completely opposing ways of thinking, but it's also interesting how it comes to be, beautiful. It's so very interesting to dissect the creative process, because you come to the conclusion that it doesn't make sense. It's just people being people, the way they work, really. When we look, Sylvia Plath was this poetess. I don't know what's the correct word here, but she wrote poems, and she killed herself in her 30s, 31 years old, something like this. And her poems often would compare her suffering to the World War II. And this is not a realization that I have because I'm so very smart. This is a YouTube comment that I read, and it's so interesting because why does she do this? Why does she keep comparing the loss of her father, her husband cheating, to World War II's disgraces? Because it gives scale. It makes her feel important. It's so interesting, it's so beautiful, and then you can understand what she was feeling. This is art. I often find myself looking after the lives of directors I like, writers I enjoy, and whatnot. I think it's all very eye opening. You understand something about the creator of whatever it is that you enjoy, you make the connection, and then you understand, okay, this is art. This person is like this, and they managed to turn that pain, that joy, that sorrow into this very beautiful piece of art that I'm consuming. And I don't like the word consume either, because when you consume, you generally don't care too much about it, so I don't think it's a very good word. But either way, Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings, this is a very obvious one. Why is The Lord of the Rings the way it is? Because Tolkien fought in the World War One, I believe, and he saw war up close, and that's why there are so many moments in there about companionship, about love, about dark times passing on. Everything you read, the most bizarre story, the most beautiful story, anything, everything connects to the human experience. This is the core of it all, the human experience. You love, you laugh, you cry, you scream. It all comes down to it. It's obvious, but it's so interesting to realize that, to properly think about it. So, yeah, I love it. I love art. I love expression, and I love humanity. I love it. I love it all so very much.